so many other peptides.
Yeah.
Like the first peptide was insulin,
Yeah.
and everybody knows about insulin. I took that from Daniel.
With people that are interested because they just didn't know. They had no idea how things function in the body to see the result that they want.
I was gonna say that a lot of times too, when they do your blood work, they'll say, "Oh, you're in normal range." If they say you're normal range, but you've got symptoms out the wazoo and you feel like crap, that's not normal.
Yeah, and it's probably a good time to say, take it as you will, but this is definitely not medical advice. We're here for commentary, research, having fun, and we're sharing some of the things that we have found. So don't listen to me, just do whatever you want with it, but I'm not your doctor. So,
And holy smokes, that was a challenge. So,
Okay.
as I wanted to come on live here because we, over the weeks and months, have gotten a tremendous amount of questions just from our friends, but of course mostly our clients, which by the way, we've taken on a whole bunch of not only clients but couples part of Temple Training, and it's been absolutely
I love that so
phenomenal.
much.
And if you watch this, we just thank you, we love you, and just so excited to be a part of your life. That said, again, we've gotten a bunch of questions. Tara, from a lot of women, have gotten a lot of question on, like the title says, what are these PEP and how did they tide, right? And so
I want you to share, like, basically, like, what is a peptide? People ask all the time, what is that? What is this for? Who can take it? Quick, 1 minute, what's a peptide?
Sure. So a peptide is a string of amino acids. It's completely natural.
So it's safe.
It is safe, yeah. And the way I like to explain it, the analogy that I created in my mind is I work a lot with computers and code and software. And I realized that what these chains of amino acids are is like a computer. It reads chains of ones and zeros. It's the code, right? And it knows how to read it and only it. So what do these peptides do? They send the signal or the code that tells your brain to do exact jobs. We'll call them jobs. And so one, yes, it's safe because they're all natural and readable by the body, but we all have those specific receptors. It's God really made us to be able to receive these. And most of them, guys, if not, well, all of them, we all produce all of these. The problem is our biology, our age, our gender, all our race, everything, we produce different amounts. So the peptide is literally the computer code to your brain. And so it gives very precise signals. And that is the kind of cheat code, if you will, of this, is unlike we take vitamins or foods or things like that, they go into the gut and you hope it does whatever it does. You hope everything's working just fine so it does all the things it's supposed to. Where a peptide goes in, it's an exact code, it's an exact
It's like a messenger.
instruction.
Right?
It doesn't do anything else but that one thing. The brain reads it like the computer code and goes straight to work. That's the genius behind how these function in the body. And again, the whole reason we're here is we've gotten tons and tons of questions, and again, we work very closely with our clients and explain everything, but I thought it'd be really good if we got in here and kind of talked about some of the main ones that we talk about or get questions of and I use.
Yes, and also, if you're taking them already, I want you to share your experience in the comments. Tell us what you're taking. What benefits are you noticing? Because I want other people that are interested in learning about it to see, like, it's not just us. There's a lot of people that are having really great success with this. So if you are currently on them, share what you're on and tell us about
Yeah,
it.
that'd be good. If you got questions, please, this is the time.
drop them in the comments.
This is the time to chime in here. You're going to get access to the brain. Some of the common ones that I get asked about, of course, are going to be Retta, MOTS-c, BPC, TB500, GHKCU. Some of the newer ones are CMAX, C-Lank, CJC 1295, ipamorelin, and then DSIP. Now, there are many of them, but like I said, these are some of the most common ones. So I'll kind of give you like a rundown really briefly, and if you guys got some questions, please go ahead and ask. So Retta is in the kind of category of weight loss, appetite regulation, and metabolic health. And I can get much deeper into that if you guys would like. Where MOTS-c is about energy production, insulin sensitivity, and exercise performance. BPC 157 and TB 500 are in like the recovery sort of section of these compounds. BPC is a little bit more skeletal tissue and things like that, where TB 500 is more ligament tendon tissue. And so again, these are the exact precise codes. And so literally you take one of these and it literally tells the brain, go and fix the problem, which is really, really, really cool.
Can I give a quick testimony
please,
on that? Okay, so, and I shared it on Facebook, so you guys probably know. I hurt my back at the gym 3 weeks ago, and I was down for the count. I could barely walk. I could not even roll over in bed. Like, moving hurt. Sneezing, you're done. Like, everything hurt so bad, and I was legit scared. I've pulled stuff, I've had little injuries before, but this one actually scared me because it was in my back. So Daniel had me on the BPC 157 and TB 500, and I was doing 2 rounds a day, so in the morning and at night. It has been 3 weeks, you guys, and I am back in the gym. I am moving. I tried to run today, probably not a great idea, but my whole point is, what I thought was going to take me months to recover, it's been 3 weeks, and I'm already, doing things, and that's huge. Of course, I iced, I rested it, prayer, all the things, but to me, that was huge. Yeah. So personal testimony, that stuff really works when you have an injury. Yeah,
and it's probably a good time to say, take it as you will, but this is definitely not medical advice. We're here for commentary, research, having fun, only. And we're sharing some of the things that we have found. So don't listen to me, just do whatever you want with it, but I'm not your doctor. So, but there are a couple other, I've got a few other individuals that I know personally, 3 actually, that had major surgeries on tendon tears and complete separation from muscle and to bone. So, 2 of them were so severe that, standard recovery time was 6 to 8 months. They were back in the gym. They were back living without fear and everyday pain, I guess. And I want to say 4 weeks. They were in the gym trying things out at 6. That's the kind of miraculous stuff that I've heard in some of the research that I have found. And some research from others, like I'm sharing here now. All 3 of them, again, had probably 3 times the quickness of recovery. So, absolutely wonderful to have that in our pocketbook today of science and biology. And so, and it's cool that we get to do this. I get to share this kind of stuff with you guys. Most people I know have no idea how their body works, have no idea the biology and the chemistry of how this temple actually works. And this, again, intrigued me because it's precise, and I like being precise. So the fact that there's something I can figure out scientifically, it's perfect in its creation and does one thing and one thing only, which my body has receptors to receive. So to me, that was like, holy smokes, we are close at the holy grail here of compounds. So now, the one, a lot of you, I see there's some women in here, and I get this question a lot, so does Tara, the GHKCU. That is really big and beneficial for both men and women. So it stimulates collagen repair in your body. Collagen is the most abundant amino acid in your body. It controls hair, skin, nails. But a lot of things that most people don't talk about is collagen is made, your tendons and ligaments are made of collagen, your bone. Like, we're talking about every aspect of your life. And so, and these degrade over time. I don't care how well you've taken care of yourself or not.
And your body stops producing collagen like in your 20s. So ladies, as you get older and things change, not just your muscles, tendons, skeletal, of course we focus on the outer appearance, which that has a lot to do with it too. So that's why a lot of women are looking into this particular one.
And that's great it's so good that you said that, because everyone wants the outward, what do I want to say? The
outward benefits of it.
The outward benefits, but you can never have the physical outward benefits without going and fixing the root cause, which is inside of our biology. And and that's where I come in with the coaching, and I love getting super detailed with people that are interested, because they just didn't know. They had no idea how things function in the body to see the result that they want. And so that's one of my favorite things. It's just that whole thinking process. C-Max and Selank, these are ones you guys probably have not really heard of. They're just kind of coming into the world view, but these are things that work, I will say, like neuroconnectivity, basically for the brain and brain health. I will admit that there's not a whole lot of research literature out there. However, the few bits of research literature that is out there is talking about some really cool stuff, like neuron reconnectivity. I mean, we're talking about brain fog at the lower level, but we're talking about, potential. Again, very little research and very little documentation, but everything from brain fog to epilepsy, memory. So we'll just leave it at that, and we can all continue to follow the studies and the research on these compounds. Now, some of the ones that I have recently been asked of, as you guys all get more acclimated with this science, is the HGH, or human growth hormone secretagogue. And there are 4 or 5 out there, but I'm only going to talk about the 2 that I'm more familiar with, and that is CJC 1295 and ipamorelin. Now, what these 2 do, they both work very close in the same way, but what they do in simplicity is they tell your brain, remember the computer code, they tell your brain, the pituitary, to, hey, go produce more growth hormone. So this is not like a continuous growth hormone where you've heard maybe some nightmarish stories and bodybuilder stories and things like that. This is something that tells your brain, hey, go produce more growth hormone.
On its own.
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody taking growth hormone. I've heard people say that they're nervous or scared about that because something about the C word. It producing. That's not the same thing we're talking about here.
Yeah, and there's no, and there's well. Here's the thing. So, 2 things I want to say to that. One, my point, and then I'll go touch on your point, where this does not shut down your own growth hormone, to where anything we take exogenously, meaning from the outside, putting in, an example, testosterone or estrogen or whatever men and women might be taking. That the brain is very amazing, and if it is receiving more than it makes, it says, oh, I don't actually need to make any because we have plenty. It's not rocket science, but it is biological science. So we don't have to worry about it hurting or blunting our own natural production, because it is our own natural production. We're just giving it more signals and pulses. Because, and I use the word pulses because that's how it works. When we sleep at night, it sends pulses, right? It's not like a stream or you turn the faucet on. They're literally pulses of signals that tell it to produce more growth hormone. And so with these types of, when we have this type of stimulation through these secretagogues, all we're doing is giving more pulses in a very natural way. So now what you were talking about with the C word, is we are finding every month and year that goes by, we get more human studies. And there was a fear, and there still might be for some, that if anything is negative or bad when it comes to, say, growth, hence the C word, that you don't want anything in your body spiking growth. That is literally the basis of where that came from. Yeah. There are some small studies. I say small because they just weren't ran very long in animals, where they did see a spike. If I remember right, don't quote me. I remember reading this a year or so ago. I want to say there was a couple studies where it heightened some of the bad cells. We'll leave it at that. But more and more research is coming out saying that it might be a possibility, but those are not the results that we're seeing. I will tell you this, I'm not fearful of that from my research. However, it is out there, and I encourage you to go look on your own. I learned everything about this over the years from public publications, and so you can do the same, or you can just follow me. Either way. And then there's the last one on here that again, Tara and I've recently been getting questions on. It's called DSIP, D-S-I-P. I'm not going to get into the long exaggerative stuff. I don't want this to be scientific tonight. But that's literally sleep. It helps with your sleep, puts you in that deep delta sleep more easily, again, more naturally. Again, it's the same signal that our brain is used to, so it's very safe. I have not researched with that myself. Maybe one day, but I haven't. It's out there, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. And so that is that. Tara, what do you have for us next?
Well, what I am finding with ladies, if you know what I'm talking about, I want you to chime in.
I don't.
I haven't said it yet. I'm about to say it. When we start going through the change, perimenopause, menopause, I remember when I turned 40, or right before that, I started to I was just tired. I just didn't feel myself. I was doing all the things. I'm eating clean, I'm working out, I had good sleep. I just didn't feel my best, and I didn't understand why. And I did all the natural remedies, and I'm doing all the protocols, like natural stuff. And Daniel finally encouraged me and said, Tara, you need to get your hormones checked. Like something is off. And I feel like so many women struggle in this department where you don't feel good, or you're anxious, your cortisol is through the roof, you're not sleeping good. You are toting babies and kids in school, and you're going to practice, and you're getting groceries, and you're planning the meals, and you're doing so much stuff, and you're in 1,000 different places. And your body is staying in that fight or flight mode all the time. Mm-hmm. And because you're older and your cortisol's higher, that starts to just wreak havoc on your hormone system. So I've had many women that have gone to the doctor and they're like, well, I did my blood work and my doctor said everything looks good. Like, did they check your testosterone? Did they check your this, all your hormones? No, they didn't do that. Well, like, what the heck? Like, that's the problem. As we get older, our hormones are changing. And so I've had several ladies that I've kind of been working with, or just working through some stuff where they're so frustrated and they're just at their wits' end and not knowing what to do. So I would say, if you're a lady struggling, first and foremost, you've got to have some self-care. You've got to learn to regulate your cortisol and have some me time so that you can bring that stress level down. But you've got to find a good practitioner, holistic doctor, endocrinologist, somebody that can help you find out the root cause of what's going on. Because if you don't, you're going to go to the doctor. They're going to say, oh, you're stressed out. Let me give you a pill for that. Oh, you can't sleep. I got something for that. Oh, you need this, blah, blah, blah. So they're just going to hand out all this stuff. And I know a lot of women who have tried that, and they get on this medicine, and then it ruins your gut. And now you're just in a vicious cycle, and you have all these other symptoms. Yeah. So I encourage women to get a full blood panel done and have your doctor go over it with you and check your hormones first. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know a lot of women too, they're coming straight to the, okay, you've tried everything else, you've done everything else, you've done the diets, you've done the workouts, you've done all the things. So it may be, of course, hormonal, but a lot of these peptides really help in that department.
Yeah, so look, what she's kind of talking about first is, I'm not going to hate on too many doctors, but their goal...
Well, there's a time and a place.
Well, there is. Their goal is not to fix the root problem. Mm-hmm. If they fix everything, you're not coming back. Right. And I know that sounds cliche, but guys, it's so true. This is the honest truth. Mm-hmm. Seriously. And
they are educated to prescribe a pharmaceutical. Mm-hmm. That is their education. Yeah. Do you know, we teach this in our temple training, doctors and nurses have less than 24 hours of nutrition education for the most part. And now maybe somebody that studies specialized in that, So that's just what they're taught to do.
Yeah, my point is again, I don't want to hate on them.
No, there's a time and a place. If I
but-
break my arm, take me to the doctor.
Yeah, but, and I don't even want to dig too deep into they actually want to keep you sick. I don't really so much want to go down that road, but
I'm not saying they want to do that, but I'm saying their protocol is going to keep you in a symptom Band-Aid. Put a Band-Aid, put a Band-Aid, put a Band-Aid, but still you're bleeding internally.
One of the things that's so beneficial to, say, working with a knowledgeable coach or a holistic doctor is, one, they're going to work with you on a personal level. This kind of goes with the hormone conversation Tara was just having, that doctor can offer so many different options, mostly drugs, unfortunately, but the last thing they do is take the blood work and work with you on a very independent level, because all of our biology is different, and things function the same. I'll give you a quick example. You can take two men. They could be the same age, born around the same place, and both feel good. Say they both feel bad. One could feel like $1 million with their testosterone levels around 300, and another feels like crap around 300, where the other man needs 800 or so to feel like the other guy. It's not that one man is broken and the other's not. It's just our biology is different on so many levels, and it's not one fix. Again, I'm going to give an example. If you guys have ever had blood work done, if you're a male and you're watching this, you ever had blood work done, they take tests for your whole total testosterone and your free testosterone. So I have a point to this, follow me. So they could be producing, in this example, the same amount of testosterone. Say their total testosterone is 600. However, their free testosterones are different, right? What that means is one man's body is not utilizing all of the testosterone in the bloodstream, where the other man is using it all. So he would have less total free, right? And so again, everything could be the same but that. And my point is that this has to be documented through blood work. This cannot be found in a conversation, a doctor visit, a telemed. Yeah. What I'm saying is they cannot help you. Not saying they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's not part of their daily protocol.
Yeah. I was going to say that a lot of times too, when they do your blood work, they'll say, oh, you're in normal range. If they say you're normal range, but you've got symptoms out the wazoo and you feel like crap, that's not normal. But we've been kind of conditioned to just believe, ladies, oh, it's perimenopause, that's just how you're going to feel. Or, oh, you're in menopause, that's just what happens, just life. Just suck it up and just deal with it.
Not anymore.
No.
The technology and science that we have, an understanding of chemistry and biology is on a whole nother level from your parents. We literally have the answer to everything. Everything. And yes, I'll even say the C word. I believe wholeheartedly we have the answer. Yep. It's out there. Some of y'all know it.
I'm going to say do a parasite cleanse.
I mean, there's so many things. But again, this is not, I didn't want to come in here live to bash anybody or anything.
That's not what we're doing at all.
I just wanted to talk about how we're on the cusp of literally understanding our body on a cellular level, which means that we could be the best that we can be no matter what age we are. We can reverse ailments. We can make our lives better in every way. But we have to understand the biology of our body, and we have to understand how we got over here. Why do I feel this way? Why is my body acting this way? And you can treat everything over here all day long, but it's back in the background of your biology that's creating this problem. And that is what we like to focus on. That's kind of like some of the core teachings that I like to talk about when I'm working with clients, is figuring out how their biology works. And it doesn't work in a week or even a month. We go through different types of protocols, and I map and document absolutely everything to get to the root problem. And the great thing is, guys, for example, peptides, completely natural to the body. So many things can be handled through a proper diet, exercise, and good, and then some supplementation that fixes the root issue. And over time, we can get to the best version of ourselves. So,
I feel like this is all about like optimizing your health.
yeah.
So, and some of these, you know, maybe you take for a little bit and it fixes the issue.
That is
So, but I do want to ask, because a lot of people will hear peptides and they immediately just think like Ozempic or Wegovy or semaglutide, tirzepatide, but they don't know that there's so many other peptides.
Yeah.
Like the first peptide was insulin,
Yeah.
and everybody knows about insulin. I took that from Daniel. Okay, so, but I do want you to explain the difference, if you can quickly, between like semaglutide, Ozempic, tirzepatide, and retatrutide, and why we believe that retatrutide is like, here's the others, here's retatrutide.
So, I've talked about this before, and I'm going to try, like Tara, to keep it short and sweet.
We'll see how that goes.
So the original semaglutide is a GLP-1. It works on one pathway, and they call it a GLP-1 because that's the receptor in your body that reads that code, right? It's your GLP-1 receptor. We had to have that, so I never hate on Ozempic or those original ones. That was the first trial of this type of research. Then, through further research and further study, they found that this can actually work on two different pathways.
Which one, semaglutide?
Well, no, that's where they came up with tirzepatide.
Oh.
So
Okay,
I was just showing the
Yeah.
stages, and so
Right.
you have the GLP.
GLP-1,
And then the
then
tirzepatide, which is I think Wegovy with that name, they're
I'm not
brands,
sure. Yeah.
is the GIP receptor. Okay.
So GLP, GIP.
Yeah.
And those are predominantly like you can get that covered under your insurance and stuff like that,
Yes,
right? Those are
yes,
like the mainstream
yes,
ones
yeah.
that you have to get from your doctor.
Yeah. Now I'm going to give you the
Mostly.
punchline. Then further research came Retta. Through further research, further study, and just further science, they found out, hey, we could utilize one, and then tirzepatide we can utilize two. Well, we just found that we can work on three, and that's where the glucagon receptor comes in. And guys, where this is so powerful is not just the glucagon and what it does on insulin sensitivity and use of insulin, okay? There's a difference between sensitivity and actually its functionality. And so the biggest thing with it, guys, keeping it short and sweet, is the synergistic effect of all three. So not one is better than the other. It's just the fact that Retta works on all three simultaneously. And so you have all the mechanisms of the things that keep people fat, which are eating too much and ruining their insulin sensitivity, which
the biggest,
which means even so. Have you ever seen like a skinny diabetic? I have.
Yeah.
It's not so much that they don't produce, right? Because depending on type 1, type 2, it's not so much all the time that they don't produce enough. It's the fact that what they're producing, their body's not utilizing, and that is a whole nother direction of diabetes research in general. So that's why it's so powerful. Is it's working on all three. It does limit your appetite suppression by getting rid of that food noise. And I'm gonna, after this, if you guys stay with me, I'm gonna share my personal story with it as well. But again, it does all three. And so I'll start with this. I'm titrating down, and so I will have importance to this on diet and why. If you're just taking retatrutide because your friend lost 30 pounds, but they can't explain it to you, they don't know enough. And I tell everybody, and not because I am a coach, but I realized through my own experience that you have to have a dietitian, a health and fitness coach guiding you along this process. And I'm about to tell you why. So I did exactly like research found, where I started off very small at 0.5 milligrams. And I did that for 2 weeks, and then I went up and up and up. Long story short, this was in October. So I'm running my own studies, right? It's been what, 8 8 months, eight,
Yeah, 'cause
not
we released her in November.
8 months. So
Yeah. And most they run it for how long? 16 weeks?
Yeah.
And then
So I wanted to know, because I'm my own little lab rat. Again, I have all the warning signs. I know all the stuff. Well, not all of it, but you know what I mean. I felt comfortable giving it a whirl.
yeah.
And so that's exactly what I did. And I would say when I got to 2 milligrams in about the 2.5, 3 month mark, that is when I noticed the biggest changes. Again, it wasn't in the first couple weeks. It took some time. And I didn't change my training, my diet. I didn't plan to change my diet. I certainly didn't change anything else in my life. I wanted to run this study as clean as possible. And so at 3 milligrams, so I had 2 things. I was losing a few pounds a week. And I mean,
That's a lot.
yes, that is like,
It's too much.
that's like prep diet bodybuilding prep mode, in which I was not in. And I thought, hey, this is awesome. How cool is this? I'm not even trying. Look at me. And you guys might have saw pictures from February. I was peeled. Like, I could do a show like in a couple weeks. And it, like, I wasn't even trying. So it felt like a miracle. Well, 3 weeks I was at the 3 milligram range, and I got to the point where I was weighing myself every couple days, and I was losing those couple pounds every week, and I got down to 162 pounds. And when I was like,
Too much.
wait a minute here, hold on, like, I got upset, right? Because I worked hard to put on muscle. So I'm gonna tell you right now, because I wasn't following a diet, if you will, I was losing, yes, body fat, but also crucial muscle. Yes, I was. And you ready for this one? And I take testosterone. So I'm supposed to have the anabolics in my body to defend that. And that's what science research said. That is not what happened. That's not what happened. And so anyone out there, if you don't have a lot of muscle, or if you're a bodybuilder, an athlete, and you desire holding on to your muscle, we need to talk, because I've already been through this, and I had to stop it immediately. And so what I did was I started titrating down, and I kind of found if you follow this stuff, they're throwing the words around of sweet spot. And they say 2 to 3 milligrams, some say 4. I never even made it that far.
No, and I'm surprised that people will start with like 3 milligrams and get up to 8.
You guys
12.
are
They're like,
sick.
what?
There's no way.
Crazy.
There's 2 things. You guys are sick and not telling anybody, right? Nausea, all the side effects.
If you're doing that much.
Or your resources no good. Straight up. Straight up.
Bump rid of.
If you can take 4, like, that's nutso to me.
You think you were hitting your protein goals every day?
So
you weren't that hungry.
That's where I was getting at.
So,
it had lowered my appetite to the point where I was not getting in my protein or carbohydrates that I needed for my muscle mass. I was losing it. Again, I have to stress, 162 pounds.
Yeah.
I weighed 162 pounds at weigh-in for a bodybuilding show, and I was dying to get there. Not really, but I was. It's a struggle. It was a struggle, and here I am. Look at me, not even trying. Well, it was very soon after that I realized this is not good. So I immediately, what did I do? I immediately started going back to counting and weighing my food, because now, hey, part of this research, I need to figure out what's going on here. This is good. And no one that I know of ran this long. So I'm in my own category here. And I need to be documenting this, not only for my own know-how and safety, but for my own clients and anyone like yourself, if you were to ask questions. So what I did is I started titrating down immediately, 0.5 milligram every week back down. And I started increasing my food. And did I have to eat when I was not hungry? Yes, I did. I did as best I could, meaning I would drink protein shakes and stuff. So here's my point, guys. Two points. One, if you are concerned about losing muscle mass, if you're an athlete or bodybuilder, you have to be on a specific diet. You can't just, you have to be, okay?
I know there's a lot of people that are taking all the different GLPs, and they just say, I'm not hungry, and they think it's great that they're losing all this weight. But in your 40s and 50s, and as you get older, your muscle is your longevity. That is like a protector of your body, of your bones,
I was
of
gonna
your
say, and your
internal
bone, that's something
organs,
that
like
nobody's talking
everything.
about.
And so not only does this like burn fat, but it does burn through muscle.
Everything.
And it will, like I have a friend of mine who was on, I don't know which one she was, I think she was on Ozempic, but it ended up deteriorating some of her bones. She broke a leg.
She fractured.
She started having some serious problems, and that is something you do not want. So it is crucial that you definitely get your protein in and you eat enough, and you want to be strength training because you don't want to, go through the process and you're losing weight and you're feeling great. And it's going to do so much more for you than just weight loss. In fact, in a second, I'm going to read you this quick little testimony, but you don't want to get to the end of your journey and be like, feel, what do they call it, skinny fat. But you don't want to look like gaunt. You don't want to look like sunken in. Like, you want to have muscle.
And the whole part of this whole thing, though, and why you might have started it was to be your best.
Yeah.
Right? To be healthier, happier, higher energy. But also at the same time, I'm not speaking for me.
Yeah.
Right? You want to look good naked. We all do.
Mission accomplished.
But like I'm saying, if you're taking any of these GLPs, any of these stuff, man, you need to have a very detailed diet. Now, does it have to be a bodybuilder prep diet? No, but you need to follow some structure, and don't be afraid of carbohydrates. I've been doing some studies over the year, and I have found that these compounds actually work better with high protein and
carbs,
ample carbohydrates. And I'm really quickly, I'm going to try to describe why. And that is because it makes our systems run faster, better, and more efficient. So here's the thing. Can you imagine a car engine with no oil? It's eventually going to burn out and break. And so you're like, oh, I want to get skinny, I want to lose weight, I'm just going to stop eating carbs. Well, you need that oil in your engine for it to perform at its best. So you don't want to be fighting against the system. You want to be encouraging the system to just be more optimal, right? And so don't shy away from your normal diet, your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. That is the biggest mistake I'm seeing everyone do, and I experienced it for myself. The moment that I titrated back down, and I started mapping out my food again, getting my protein back to where it needs to be, eating ample carbs, I slowly started putting tissue back on. And so I'm learning a lot about this myself.
Can I read a quick little testimony? So this is somebody that was on Reddit Your Time that wanted to lose weight, but he says, same journey here, 25 pounds gone, but that is the side benefit. The snoring is gone, fatigue is gone, random cravings are gone, low back pain is gone, energy's back, feeling great, and my skin is back. I could go on and on. And then he said, Daniel's been a really huge help to me. Yeah. So think about that. It's not just losing weight, but what happens when you do lose the weight and your health is optimized? You are going to feel so much better. What happens when you feel better? You do better in life. Your kids get a better version of you. Your husband gets a better version of you. Your friends, your family, you're doing more. It just brings so much. You have a better quality of life. So it's not just about the weight. It is about health optimization.
And so that said, I'm gonna finish my little story here. I have titrated down to 1 milligram. Next week I'm going to do a half, and then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to come off. I'm going to let my receptors settle, refreshen, because that's a whole other topic that's very, very important. It's the whole reason why you titrate up, because the receptors get bogged down, and you have to have more to get the same result. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to map, for me and for the whole world, I'm going to map how my body responds. I'm going to document my diet. I'm going to document my physique, my weight, how I feel in my brain and my mind. I'm just going to document everything.
Yeah, it's good to do that.
And again, I'm going to be the first person to kind of run this protocol this long. And I will tell you, I feel fine.
But now let's think about this, because yes, it's been 8-9 months, but you had got to your goal weight a long time ago.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, for someone who's been on it 5 months, but they still want to lose 50 pounds, they would continue to, stay on it?
Yeah, no.
What about the people that have been on Ozempic for a year and a half?
Very good.
Or 2 years?
Very good. You have to come back off. So imagine these fingers are receptors, right? And your body has trillions of them for every little compound and food and particle and mineral and vitamin, right? We all have receptors. That's how they read the code of each thing. So the more you take, they get clumped up. Basically, the receptors are blocked. They cannot take in anymore. So you have to stop, and your body will break down and refresh the receptors so that you have fresh receptors again. Okay? Then when you reintroduce it back into your body, it's like for the first time. And so anyone that's taking, first of all, I haven't seen anybody, so I'm the first person that I know taking this particular compound this long. I do know of people that have been on Ozempic specifically for over a year and upwards to a year and a half, and they haven't received, from my visuals, I got to clarify, I didn't ask and I didn't monitor them, was not coaching them, but just my visual, it had stopped working months and months and months ago. So what happens is that you're not getting the result anymore, but yet your doctor, yourself, and your insurance company is not charging more, but you're just buying more and more and more and more and more. And again, I have these individuals that I was speaking of, not once did their doctor that I'm aware of say, hey, we should actually stop and do this, this, and this, and then maybe, just none of that. It was just like, here, just like with every other product. That is really that. And so, but here's the deal. You finish up chatting. I have a client that came in, so I'm gonna do that. If y'all are still here, bring in the questions, right? That's what I came on here for. So I'll be back.
Okay. Maybe we'll just do a second live so this doesn't run too long, but we took like the top 10 questions that women are asking perimenopause, postmenopause, and the top 10 questions for men. So I would love to do another live and kind of break those down. Some of them, just so you know, why I can't lose weight anymore. Why am I exhausted all the time? Why do I have brain fog? Why do my joints hurt now? Why is my belly fat increasing? Why can't I sleep? Why am I anxious for no reason? Why is my skin aging so fast? Why am I losing muscle despite working out? And why has my sex drive disappeared? Ladies, have any of you asked those questions? Have any of you like been through that or felt that? So on our next live that we do, we're going to break down perimenopause, postmenopause, protocols that you could use to combat all that stuff. So with that, I don't want to make this any longer, but thank you guys for hanging out with us. And again, drop your questions and we will catch you on the next one.